So once you have gathered all 15 of the Tears of Light, you want to return to Lake Hylia, and the final dark insect will then appear here. So you can see it here, there's a cutscene of it, and it looks ginormous. You can see this big electrical charged thing in the water here. And the sky and everything is all stormy, and there's thunder and lightning going on. This is the first time that it's really been all stormy like this in the Twilight realm. Or, well, Twilight covers the land, rather. So it's kind of spooky, I guess. And so you want to just swim out to that dot on your map and everything, and that will lead us to this overworld mini-boss battle. And it's, as with all of the bosses, I suppose, in Twilight Princess and mini-bosses, they're all pretty easy to figure out what you're supposed to do. So this one's, once again, just one of the easy ones. So he's not too bad. Don't be too intimidated. So as soon as you approach the area, you'll stand on top of one of these wooden platforms or pallets or whatever they are, and you'll see bubbles start coming out of the water. Spooky. And after this, then you'll see this electrical charged something, whatever it is, it's huge, that pops up into midair. So you want to use your senses, and you'll immediately see this little cutscene that showcases the mini-boss, and his name is Twilight Bloat. It's this big, nasty, dark insect. So this thing just, I don't know, it just looks like you could just squeeze it in and he'll secrete mucus or something. He has two attacks. One of them is to kind of float towards you in midair, just flies at you, kind of like all the other dark insects do, and he's all charged up or whatever. You don't want to touch him while he's charged, because otherwise you'll get hurt. His other attack is to, he wiggles as he's running through the water, and he zips towards you really quickly. So he kind of just spins around in circles, and eventually he gets really far away, and then he'll charge towards you really fast. That one's harder to avoid, so you may want to jump in the water if you have no choice. Whenever he's close enough and he's not charged up, you want to jump at him. You just Z-target him and press A, and then Link will grab onto him, just like he did with a lot of other enemies as a wolf and everything, like the Shadow Beast and such. And you can bite at him by continually pressing A. So like this attack is really hard to attack him with, so he's a little bit too high, so I can't get him. But this other attack where he is flying at you, this one's easier afterwards to grab onto him. Bam. So after you have smacked him a good 3 times, then he'll fall in the water and, have his belly facing up, as you want to smack his legs. The spin attack looks great, but probably what's easier to just use mid-discharge attack, and Link will actually smack all the tentacle leg things at once that are protruding from his body now. And actually, it's one thing that's odd about that is that normally if you use mid-discharge attack and it leads you to the water, if you touch the water at all, it cancels the rest of your attack. But for some reason, for this mini-boss battle, it lets you jump off the water. It's kind of an odd little thing. Once it's defeated, it'll burst into Twilight, and you'll get the final Tear of Light. So go ahead and collect it. This will fill up the Vessel of Light, which will be tossed back into the Lanayru Spring. So now Light will return to the Lanayru province, and the next thing you'll see is Midna. She is now in her shadow form, and she'll tell you to, make sure you don't forget about the last piece of Fused Shadow. And then she makes this gesture with her eye, and I'm pretty sure what it is I see this in animes all the time, where they hold one eye down, like the eyelid, their lower eyelid on one eye, and they hold it down, and they stick their tongue out and go, meh. And oftentimes they're doing it like as an insult to somebody, or like if they're disagreeing about something, or if they're angry at somebody, and as soon as that person turns their back, they do that behind them. So I'm pretty sure that's what Midna's doing right there. And since this game is from Japan, it would make sense. And it's also very, very much her personality and how sarcastic and stuff she is. So moving right along, now we see the Spirit of Light Lanayru, and I guess he's supposed to be like a sea serpent or something. She. So Lanayru will go on to say, that you've done an awesome job restoring light to all the light spirits in Hyrule. And he says that you are the hero chosen by the gods. And then he goes on to talk about the Dark Power, which is the Fused Shadow that you were looking for. He says that it is the last piece is in the bottom of Lake Hylia. So we knew that already, but he says before that you go after it, that there's something you need to know. The goddesses locked it away on purpose, and now he's going to show you a vision so you can understand why they did it. And this may be pretty confusing to you, especially if you don't know much about the Zelda series. I'm going to try and explain it a little bit. Now, part of what I think is happening here is when Link's eyes are normal, he's just observing it, and when his eyes are white, or glazed over here in a little bit, I think it's what it is they're trying to show, like, now he's viewing it from the perspective of somebody else. So, first off, Lanayru talks about how the world was created. The land of Hyrule was created by 3 goddesses, Din, Faroor, and Nehru. They created the land of Hyrule, and they made this place called the Sacred Realm, which is where they descended, and where also they left. Now, when they left a remnant of their power called the Triforce. This magical power is like the ultimate source of power that can be gotten in the entire series. So, everybody is after it. So he goes on to say that eventually word of the Sacred Realm spread, and a great battle ensued. So he says that, so now their eyes glaze over, and I think this is to represent that now they're supposed to be opposing forces or whatever. So Ilia and Link attack each other, and it looks like Link wins, or whatever, whoever the side he's representing. So now, whoever that side is, they're going after the Triforce. They've already had battles and fought other people, apparently. So as he's trying to figure out how to get into the Sacred Realm and trying to gain access to the Triforce, then these magical beings appear, and these are basically sorceresses. They're called Dark Interlopers, and they excel at magic, and they were trying to find a way to control the Sacred Realm. So they ended up establishing a dominion over it using some powerful sorcery, and you'll see that it shows the picture of the fused shadow, which is covering the Triforce. So they're using the fused shadow in order to control the Sacred Realm, and apparently they can just totally wipe out everybody else. Now, whether this means they actually gained access to the Triforce or not, it's not explicitly said, but in any case, they're keeping other people away from him. Now, Link's perspective is switching to the Interlopers, I guess, and then Lanayru explains that the goddesses then ordered the three light spirits, apparently they were already there, they ordered them to intervene and stop this from happening. They sealed away the great magic. They broke up the fused shadow into 4 parts. One of them Midna owns already, and she is looking for the other 3. So Link doesn't know this up until now, but the dark power is what, the goddesses commanded the light spirits to dismantle it or whatever. So with that, the Dark Interlopers were then sealed away, and the Sacred Realm was once again protected. Notice that in that last scene it showed that the Sacred Power, the Triforce, was actually missing in that last scene. It just shows the grass and everything, but the Triforce wasn't there. It goes on to say that the dark power that Link seeks, that now he understands, what it all means and everything. But he says that you are the one chosen by the goddesses, and that it's extremely dangerous to wield this power, this dark power, which is the fused shadow, and that if you use it at all, it will take control of you. And now this shows this scene of Ilia falling, and I think what this means is that this is what he's going to sacrifice. He's going to sacrifice the people that he loves, and not just one person, but everything that he cares for is going to be sacrificed if he does this. So, pretty trippy little movie there. I hope my explanations made that make a little more sense. Lanayru will then tell you that, if you're going to go after the Dark Power, then go ahead and enter the Lakebed Temple at the bottom of Lake Hylia. So that concludes this chapter. So join me for the next chapter, and we will tackle all of the goodies we can now grab in Lake Hylia now that Twilight no longer covers the land. So see you then.